What's up, world? I remember the story that I was gonna tell. There was about 3 or 4 stories that I just couldn't remember for the life of me. But there was a story. This story is actually gonna be about a brother that was at Wells Fargo. So this is gonna be a Wells Fargo story. So remember when I was talking about, let me see if I can make this a little better for y'all. There we go. Remember when I was telling y'all, there was a chapter I wrote about APIs and stuff like that. And for me, there wasn't really no issues. Now I know the history on Wells Fargo. I know that. There's been a lot of discrimination cases. You have people in top executive and high managerial positions where they directly undermine black folks. And I'm probably gonna put some more videos or more context to that. But this story is, I was doing some API work. I was doing some contracting. The manager was good. Nothing bad to say about him. Never undermined me. He actually tried to help me. Told me that I need to apply permanently into some positions, which actually worked out in my favor to a certain degree. But there would have the positions I ended up getting offered, I would have much rather had something else. So, but I'll get into that on a different note. This story, towards the end of the contract, you had a lot of different people, different departments. You had this brother that was working on the Treasury Department. Now, some of these guys, man, they're going to bust right there. I think I got time. I'll make it quick. Some of these guys because I was working a remote, and the manager tried to keep me at bay as far as possible, because I told him I got an immune system issue and all kind of stuff like that, and there was no agreement initially coming in. We were told this would be 100% remote, but remember, those companies, they did not honor their word. Majority of these companies, they started telling us everybody will be remote, because this is the kind of position there's no reason to be in office whatsoever anyway. There's absolutely no reason, especially after you've been trained. You do the position for 2-3 months at the max, and you got it down. There's no reason for you to be in office. Absolutely not. But what ended up happening, and I'm gonna tell y'all, what ended up happening is they were trying to bring people in for I think they said 3 days. But now when I look back at it in hindsight, it probably wouldn't have been so bad. It wouldn't have been so bad for me. So, I don't know why the hell I parked here. It's so damn bright. So what ended up happening was, I'm about to move. It's so damn bright. I'm gonna move. Yeah, I'm gonna get moved. There we go. Now I can pull right out. All right, so what ended up happening with me, with this particular situation, well, nothing happened specifically to me. I just heard it. So you have these individuals that, hold on. Pause this. You don't want to pause? Fuck. The pause function ain't working. I don't know what happened with this phone. All right. So I'm in a meeting, and I've had correspondence with this brother several different times. that is I think he was part of the Treasury Department. He was basically, there's different teams. So there's software teams. We're supporting the software people that call up about API, Python, any of that information that they might need as PKI, public key infrastructure. We're supporting all of that. If there's a question about the software, and I won't name the software, but it's a public interfacing thing. I might as well. I mean, it's a public thing. So it's called Gateway. So I will take a screenshot and a picture of that. So some of these pauses I'm gonna use to insert certain things. So I think what I'll do is I'll just insert it where I did that pause. So some of these dudes, I could tell, you have certain people that you work with, and you could tell that this isn't the kind of person that you're going to hang out with outside of work. I'll just say this. You're not going to hang out with some of these dudes outside of work like that. So what I ended up doing, I got a couple more minutes. What I ended up doing is I'm in a meeting. And so they heard that this brother was leaving. Now, this brother had been there a while. And he was not a contractor, he was perm. So he had been there a while. Now, they started talking about him leaving. He was always good with me. I didn't have a lot of correspondence with him, but whatever I asked him to do, he did. What they started doing is they started running their mouth about the brother's work ethic and what he didn't do and this, that, and the third or whatever. And so I said, well, how long was he here? Oh, he's been here for years. And I'm like, thinking to myself, you don't get to that level of the company as a black man and be able to just skate by and BS. Not the position he had. So these dudes some of these folks were contractors too. They all joined in. And your model minority Asian, he joined in too. He was the one running his mouth too. So they all came in this meeting running their mouth. Now the manager wasn't in the meeting. So the manager might have been like, whatever, but I'm sitting there hearing this, and I immediately get on code with the brother. I'm like, well, if he's been here this long, how was he not able to do his job? And they start babbling and explaining and making excuses and whatever. And so I'm like, so they still going on and on and on. And, oh, where he's going to JP Morgan. I said, uh-oh, that was it right there. This brother was going to some big New York firm, JP Morgan. He could have stayed where he was at, but he went with a bigger bag. That's what the issue was. That was it right there. That brother went to JP Morgan. And see, that's another thing. When you get ready to move on, sometimes it don't stop. They might want to haze just a little bit more. You would think that they would just ease back. Now, he was still there. He wasn't leaving that day, but he was leaving soon, because what they do is they launch a departure date. They send an email out saying everybody that's getting ready to leave. And sometimes people that want to quietly, like me, I don't want to sit there and talk to everybody before I go. When I'm gone, I'm gone. I'm probably not going to really talk to too many people. When I'm getting ready to leave most positions, a lot of times I might have a few contacts that I made, and I done made them contacts in up ahead of time. And these are folks that I already vetted to where they're not sitting there having a discussion about me, as opposed to having a discussion with me about my departure. So I've already identified some people where I ain't got to worry about, because when I leave, I don't tell people around me like that. I let the men broads, and what I mean by the men broads, I let the dudes sit there and gossip like a bunch of hoes. I let them go tell the information. And what I mean by that is, I tell my manager, I don't really tell other people all like that I'm leaving. So if a bunch of people start coming up to me, which has happened several times, hey man, you going on? And then now it's a whole gossipy ass, chatty patty discussion about me getting ready to leave or whatever. And so now they start doing little shit at the very end. So when that happens, I know that somebody done spilt the beans. Somebody that I didn't even tell my damn business, they went and start telling other people. So then they start trying to figure out where I'm going. I don't tell them that either. Because you got to think, these white supremacists know people in different places. They want to know where you going a lot of times. It ain't just to be the talk of the town. I've heard stories of they start calling their homies, hey, you know, so-and-so's getting ready to come. They act like it's the prison yard. Well, he's getting ready to go on this new compound. Watch him. They do that. Yes, they do. You think I'm just making this stuff up. Sometimes they got contacts in there and they'll watch you. They will watch you. So I've seen it several times. And I've had third-party people tell me this as well. But anyway, so when they say JP Morgan, and I'm kind of like, man, okay, yeah, this brother here, he about to get it cracking over there. I was happy for him. So I'm on code with him. I'm like, I'm defending the bro. I said, man, oh, he over here, JP Morgan. I said, oh, that's good. Well, yeah, you know, he probably ain't gonna work over there anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, this dude been working in this company for a long time already. If he wasn't doing his job, they would have got rid of him. They would have got rid of him. But here's what I want y'all to know about banks before I go real quick, and I got to go catch this bus. The thing about banks, you don't have to overextend. When you do too much, that's why sometimes the management like, hey, don't do too much. Everybody else being lazy. You could do your job. You don't have to excel. If you over excel, they don't like that. The banking system is very rigid. So you got a bunch of mediocre bastards up in there. You got a lot of them. So we're going to do a part 2 to this.